Hello everyone, it's Tilly from Tilly Jones. Welcome back to my channel and to another Plan With Me video. I am here planning the week of the 18th of November in my A5 wide vertical Tilly Journals inserts, and I am using this Wicked kit from Scribble Co. Unfortunately it's no longer available in the shop. It was a pop mystery and she did bring it back like just after Wicked had been released, but unfortunately that was a little while ago now. And I'm also using a foil bundle from Plannerface in gold confetti. I do PR for Plannerface, so you can use Tilly to save 10% at Plannerface, and you can save that money on foil. And what else am I using? I'm using solid gold foil underlays from my shop, and then pink brick underlays also from my shop, overlaid on them, so we literally have the background of the spread being a yellow brick road, which I'm low-key obsessed with. What else have I got to say about this week? This is obviously the week that Wicked came out, and it is the week we went to see it. We went on a little date night on Sunday night and went to see it, which was lovely. So I decided to do this spread as half pink, half green. So I put the extra colour green on the Tuesday, and had the Monday and Wednesday as the dark green that came in the kit, and then used the sort of tan colour that was also in the kit for the sidebar. So that was kind of all green toned, and then the other side I've like switched between the two shades, well the pink and the sort of pinky red. Anything else I can say about the base? I did just use, it wasn't proper deco in the kit because this was a lot of characters and stuff and scenes rather than clip art, so she just did different shapes. So I tried to colour block them down the middle of the page as well. And I am obsessed with how this spread came together, and also the Wicked film is so good. I'm so glad it pays like good homage to the musical. I've seen the musical at least 4 or 5 times. I first saw it with my sister and mum and her ex-boyfriend, and she is married to somebody else and has a 5-year-old son with somebody else, so that's how long ago that was. And then we took Rangers to see it, and then we saw it for my 18th birthday, and then I again saw it earlier this year, and I took my husband to go and see it before the play came out, before the film came out, because I wanted Tim to have seen that before we saw the film. I thought the film was really excellent. I think they did such a good job with it. It was probably a little bit longer than it needed to be, but I think that worked for it as well. But yeah, it was really good. I'm not very good at sitting and watching a film, and it had me hooked most of the way through. I did get a bit distracted a few times, but yeah, really, really good film. Really enjoyed it. So I really highly recommend that you go and watch it if you haven't seen it already. But yeah, no, 100% would recommend. That's kind of everything for the base and stuff. I did use 3D extenders, one on Monday that actually has no full box on the inside because I had so much to add, and then one on Wednesday and one on Sunday. So there is lots and lots in this spread, so it's a bit of a longer video than we've been having for a little while. I don't know, I feel like they've been under 20 minutes recently, and this one is over 20 minutes, so that's nice. So I should get on to talk about the books that I read this week. So I finished 3 books this week. The first of those is Cat Among the Pigeons, Among the Pumpkins, and this was a book for, I think I needed a pumpkin on the cover for something, so I picked it up because of that. I listened to it via audiobook, and essentially this is a murder mystery where Hetty and Tilly, 2 cats living in a town of cats, run a detective agency. When there's a new bout of murders in town, they immediately put themselves on the case to find the killer and to work out whether it's linked to this historic murders attributed to Milky Myers year before. Honestly, it's a bit of a surreal read. When I read the blurb, I assumed one of the 2 people were cats and the other was human. But I also loved that all the characters were cats, and learning a bit about how like the town worked was quite fun, but it did read a little bit like satire of detective novels, and I'm not really sure where it was going. It's quite a cosy mystery, and it's certainly original, but I don't really know what else to say about it. Like, I gave it 3 stars, it was fine sort of thing. It wasn't anything special, and yeah, it was a bit odd to read. Next up we have The Spell Shop, which I also listened to via audiobook by Sarah Beth Durst. I read this for a Creating & Co. It was a group read for a Creating & Co. I think readathon. I need to decide whether I'm doing their reading challenges next year. I'm leaning towards not. Well, I'm leaning towards maybe doing the reading challenges, but not the readathons. But I don't know. Anyway, I gave this 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. Keela is a librarian in the Great Library of... I don't know how to say the word, and I can't remember how it's said. My dyslexia is coming out here. Alyceum. But when the rebellion begins a siege on the library, Keela escapes with some of the spellbooks and Kaz, her sentient spider plant assistant. When she realises the only place she can go is the town she grew up in, she decides to open a magic shop to bring magic back to the island. It's such a good, cosy autumnal read. I really loved the world it was set in. I loved Kaz and the cactus so much. Like, who knew you could fall in love with sentient house plants in a book? It's a lot of fun with the world building, and there's lots of little quirks to the magic in it, and it's really cool to like have your main character as somebody who's not used to performing magic learn how to use it, and that's a lot of fun. The romance is a cute little subplot, and I enjoyed meeting different people in the town. Overall, I felt like it was just lacking a little something, and like it just needed a higher stake. And I know like the stakes were actually pretty high in it, but I don't know, it needed something more, and that's why it got 4 stars rather than 5. But it is a really, really good cozy read, so if you're looking for something cozy, highly recommend it. And the last book I finished this week is Why, the Last Man, which is a graphic novel, but it's a very wordy graphic novel. It actually took me quite a long time to read for a graphic novel. Shall I look how many days it took me to read? I mean, it was still only 4 days, but like I can quite often read a novel in 4 days. I quite often do read a novel in 4 days, so that's quite a long time for a graphic novel. I normally don't take more than 2 days over a graphic novel, but yeah, this one took me a little bit longer. But anyway, this is about Yorick Brown, who finds himself and his pet monkey the only males left on the planet, and chaos and adventure ensue. His mum's a congresswoman and his sister's missing, but what Yorick really wants to do is find his girlfriend who's on the other side of the world. As I've already said, for a graphic novel, very, very wordy. Like, there's a lot of words, and given how wordy it is, things aren't actually explained very well. And they are explained through speech when they're explained, but like it jumps around an awful lot, and it's bizarre. It's confusing and a little bit difficult to follow at times. There's jumping around of timelines and different places, which it's just hard to keep a track of all of the characters and everything. But once I got into it, I did really enjoy the story. There are so many different elements and idiosyncrasies of the like plot, and I loved the feminism of it and possible reactions to a post-apocalyptic world. I'm going to read the next instalment, and I'm intrigued to where it's going to go. But yeah, I think this is technically book 1, but it's the deluxe edition, which I actually think is book 1 and 2, so it's not quite just book 1, if that makes sense. But yeah, so they're the 3 books that I read this week. I'm now going to probably have a little chat about the day by day. I'm putting down the boxes now, so yeah, we're pretty much onto time for me to chat about the day by day. So on the Monday morning, I had my whooping cough vaccine, which is like the vaccine I've probably reacted to least in my entire life. So you get your whooping cough vaccine when you're pregnant, which is why I had it. So yeah, I walked back from the doctor's and did some extra little steps around there just to try and get my steps up. Came home and worked on designing my scripts for the week, and then was doing a load of printing and cutting, probably to get scripts and stuff ready for the plan with me, because I tend to film those on a Monday when I'm on a planner call with my bestie Sophie, which is the next thing I mark in. I was working on planner orders at this point, and I was making covers, but I was having a lot of problems with printing, and it was really getting to me. Like, everything felt like it was going wrong, and I was really down about it, and I was just really down in general. Like, I have been really struggling, as I've talked about already in these videos. I am struggling with perinatal depression at the moment, but yeah, so I was very, very sad. And then I found a potential solution for 7x9 planners, which was really good, but I also had B6 planners that needed making, so sorry about my yawning, I am knackered always. Perinatal depression for you. Anyway, then I was finishing off some portfolio bits because I met with my supervisor this day and got everything signed off and finished for my ARCP, which has been done now and is all absolutely fine, which is grand. Then I did some reading. I was reading Why the Last Man on this day. Then me and Soshi had some cuddles to try and cheer me up because I was really struggling. And then we actually came up with a solution to my printer problems, and I was like, oh, this is how we do it, and that was very exciting. We then read 2 Little Munchkin, Bump, and then we had Rangers, which for Rangers this week we actually went and cleared up from the craft fair the week before, so yeah, it was some tidying and stuff that we were doing mostly, which isn't the most thrilling Ranger meeting ever, but it needed doing, and it was really nice to get that done because my parents were actually going away and they've had lots on recently, which we will get into as we get on with Plan With Me's, but yeah, so there was that. On to Tuesday, I was at work and I actually met with Rachel, who's my line manager, probably, well, at that time we thought it was probably for the last time for the year, but actually it definitely was because she was having a planned operation, so yeah. Had my chat with her, which was very lovely. We went for coffee and had a chat and updated each other on, well, I've been meeting with Rachel because she's acting as my line manager, and that's kind of become like just a support chat really. So I was meeting her with that, so I was updating her on how I was doing and things, and she was talking about her plans for the rest of the year because she was going off for some surgery. But anyway, then I came home and was, did I come home? Oh no, teaching was at the hospital that day, so I took my laptop along and sat and redated some planners in the doctor's mess, and then it was time for teaching, which was on ENT, which is what I'm on at the moment, so it was a bit weird to be in there, but it's fine. Then came home, did some odd jobs, and then it was time for guides. Oh my god, sorry, I've not yawned for ages, and then I start recording and talking and I just yawn 3 times in about 5 seconds. Ugh. Anyway. Then was doing some odd jobs, then it was guides, and we did unit meeting activities, which is part of the official programme. We don't actually do the official programme very often, but we were today, so I just marked that in, and then when I came home before bed we read to Bump. So on to Wednesday, and oh my god, I forgot the other thing I got with this kit is I got the scribblers, the little character stickers that Scribble Prints Co does, because she did Glinda and Alphabet ones, and I used like the appropriate ones on the appropriate sides, and I think that added so much to the spread. I literally am obsessed with how this came out. Kiara was involved a lot in it, and there's a lot of like the beginning and end clips of because I stop recording in between each time speed, if that makes sense. So when I've put all of the bases down and stuff, all of the bass down, I stop recording and start recording again to put the boxes down so that it's easy to edit basically. Anyway, Kiara was just like in all of them and I had to like wait for her to move basically. Anyway, gonna go back to Wednesday. Started the morning by going for a walk and trying to get some of my steps in, and I sat and replied to some messages because I'm really bad at replying to messages, particularly when my depression is bad. So yeah, did that. Then I came home and I did some stickering of my journal, ready for doing my journaling. So my journaling is like how I'm feeling journaling, so I like it to be prepared and look pretty to encourage me to do that. Then I had a perinatal appointment. They actually brought the second doctor of the perinatal team in for that appointment because my meds are a bit more complicated, and I am obviously struggling with treatment-resistant perinatal depression, which is fun. So yeah, that was fun, and we talked about different options, and I also like just sobbed during that appointment, so I've just marked in that I had a good cry. And we came out with the decision to increase my antipsychotic dose, basically because it is metabolised faster in pregnancy. So we were looking at whether an increase in that would calm things down. The initial increase doesn't seem to have done anything. I am now on a second increase, which is maybe doing something. Fingers crossed, I think it might be. But today is the first day I've really felt that, so who knows. Then came home and was making planners, because that was my life at this point. Trying to get planners out for everybody. Then I recorded a voiceover. I did some reading. I haven't marked in what I read, but I was doing some reading. I don't know what I was doing on my portfolio. I've just marked portfolio in, but I thought I'd finished the portfolio. Oh no, it must be the week after this I finished my portfolio. So I was just working on getting my portfolio finished and stuff for that. Because I had so many day extenders on Monday and Wednesday, and I was using that same green colour on both days, I ended up having to like cut up the checklist that was in green, which was an unusual thing that I don't normally have to do with Scribble Print Go kits, but I just had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 boxes to fill with this, rather than like the 4 that it's designed for. So yeah, there was a lot to mark on those 2 days. Then did some tidying after I'd finished some portfolio bits and pieces, and to finish the day we read to Bump, something we are trying to do every day, but I am going to mark it in. I don't mark it in every day. If like I'm hitting 8 things without it in, it tends to be one of the things I drop, but I do want to mark it in most days, because we are reading to Bebby most days. Anyway, on to Thursday. I was at work. I did a little bit of portfolio at work, but then I vomited, so I left early, which was not ideal. But I did have to. I was being sick, and morning sickness was still not doing me good things, even though I was in week 20 when it's meant to settle down at like week 13. Fun. So yeah, came home. I read some of Cross the Line, which is a book I've been reading on and off and have eventually finished, but honestly it took me such a long time to finish it, and it ends up with 1.5 stars, so there's that. Then I had a nap because I was feeling so rough, made some planners in the evening, and then read to Bump, just to try and finish off the day a bit nicer. Honestly, this was a day of a lot of rest because I really wasn't feeling physically very well, and honestly when I feel physically poorly, my mental health also does not feel great, so that's always fun and games. On to Friday, I was back at work, and I managed to go to work this day, and I stayed at work all day, which was nice, but I did mostly, to be honest, work on my portfolio, which was really nice, just to be able to sit and get a load of that done. And so it was pretty much done for my ARCP, which I thought I met with my supervisor this week, but I didn't. It was the week after. But yeah, I got the majority of it done during work, which was nice. Came home and read some more of Cross the Line. Then our decorator had actually finished our hallway today. We were expecting him to come back on the Saturday, but he didn't. He just did the finished on the Friday, which was really good. So we were very pleased about that, because it was just like, yes, we don't have somebody in our house tomorrow, and the hall looks so good. I'm so happy with it. Kind of obsessed, and that's what I'm marking next, is that I love it, but actually for some reason I didn't mark it in. I didn't make the script for it, but who knows why. Oh no, I didn't mark in Plain Plate Up is what I didn't mark in. But I also, like, in my notes I say that I love the hall, and then that we play Plate Up, and I haven't made a script for Plate Up. Words are hard today. But yeah, we played some Plate Up, then I read to Bump, and then I put on my weekend nails. By the way, I showed off my nails at the beginning of this video because I decided to try and be as on theme with my nails as possible, so I do have green nails on. I don't actually own any pink nails. I am not a big pink person in general, so they are just green, and I can't remember what the and like a teal as well on the thumb and little finger. So yeah, that's my nails for the week. Then on to Saturday, I was doing some testing on Planner Face's website. She is working on something a little bit new. I don't want to talk about it, it's not my news to share, but yeah, I was doing some testing for that. Then I was working on making some covers for planners, and then I was also working on some sticker orders as well, just trying to get things done and get all orders out the door. Then again, spent some time on my portfolio. I think this day and the Monday were my last 2 days working on it, so it's not going to be marked in like every other day anymore, because things will be sorted. And this is when Nala was joining, and with this spread, Kiara was like, yeah, I'm done now, and then Nala comes in. So there's that. Pretty sure that's Nala's tale at least. After I did some portfolio, I print and cut some stickers, again mostly for the orders, but I think I also cut some for myself, but I don't really remember. Then my nephew was staying this weekend, oh no, it is Kiara, and the video, sorry Kiara, I misidentified your tale. My sister and her husband were going away for the weekend, so my parents were babysitting Felix. So Felix had asked the weekend before, because he was up the weekend before as well, if I could do bedtime, and we said not that week, but you could do bedtime another day. So I went round to my mum and dad's and just spent some time with him. At this point I've just put babysit in the thing because that kind of like works. But yeah, no, we were just having some playtime. Popped back home and did some odd jobs and stuff, and then went back to my parents and did his bedtime. He really wouldn't sleep, so he didn't fall asleep for me, and then my mum took over after like an hour, and then like after another hour and a half he still wasn't asleep, and my dad took over and just fell asleep next to him, but he eventually went to sleep around midnight, which is very late for him. He normally goes to sleep like between 9 and 15, so yeah, very light night. He was just too excited to be at Granny and Grandpa's and without his mummy, I think. It was just all a lot of excitement. Bless him. So, on to Sunday. I'd managed on the Saturday evening to drop the drawer out my desk, which was just full of stuff, and mostly like just stuff that needed to go away, and I just couldn't be bothered to move or put away, so I just shoved it in my desk drawer. But I dropped my drawer and everything went everywhere, so I used this opportunity to give it a good sort out. I then did some filming. I filmed a lineup video and a haul. So when I was cutting stickers the previous day, that's what I was making for myself. I was making underlays for probably for my January kit lineup, to be honest. Then I was doing some postage and packaging for planners and orders, made a start on making my 2025 goals, and then I designed some scripts for the week we were currently in. I started sometimes doing this on a bit of a Sunday and then doing some more on the Monday. I did some more portfolio bits and put in my combined training application, which is basically an application to shorten my GP training by 6 months because of previous training experience. So yeah, once I put that in, we went out on our date night. So for our date night, we did go for a Nando's. So I've just put in cheeky Nando's. I don't know why it's a cheeky Nando's, but it's always a cheeky Nando's. And then we went to see Wicked Part 1. It was a very early Nando's because we went to see, I think it was the 6:30, 7:30, 8:30, 9:00. Yeah, about the 6:30 showing, because we wanted to be home, because Social had work the next day. We wanted to be home by 10 to go to bed at a reasonable time, and that would have finished about 9:30. So yeah, we went to the 6:30 showing. So we like sat down to eat at 5:15, which is so early for us. We normally eat between 6 and 7, or even 6 and 8 sometimes. So like 6:30, 7 probably is our normal eating time. I am just faffing with 2 stickers that are very stuck together here. I think I end up pulling in a different sticker for Nando's as a result of it, but I just stole one off the Glinda sheet, which worked. So yeah, then I'm marking in going to see Wicked Part 1, as officially it is, and the day I'm filming this, they've announced that Part 2 is going to be Wicked for Good. For Good is my favourite Wicked song, and probably up there in one of my favourite songs of all times. So it's just such a good song. I'm actually obsessed with it. So yeah, that's what I've marked in there, and then that Wicked was so good. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I discovered here that I hadn't pulled out anything for a couple of things. So I used a reading sticker for reading to bump because I'd lost the sticker, and then I hadn't pulled anything out for plate up, so I just pulled in another Glinda there, and that is the complete spread showing you all of those underlays. I did pull in that extra quote box, which is from Happy Cutie Studio. I can't remember the shop name. Happy something design. Anyway, that's all for this video. Comment, like down below, all that kind of jazz. I am going to show you my leftovers now. I just remembered. Painted Lilacs Arts old shop, but obviously she's not even doing that much. She's just announced that she's not doing much more clip art, which is really sad. Anyway, that is who the full box overlay was from. Anyway, comment, like down below, all that kind of jazz. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.